And hey, everybody, Rick Snider showing up out of nowhere in the middle of the afternoon. But please like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit the thanks button. Now the algorithm's happy. We'll see who shows up here all of a sudden. But, once in a while I try to do something in the afternoon because I have so many people over in Europe that if I do at 8 o'clock Eastern time, they're asleep. So we'll see if any of them go, hey, Rick's on. What's that about? They'll say it in a British accent, but, you know, I may just be talking to myself here. We'll see. We'll see if Steve shows up here all of a sudden. But there's some big news piling through. And so I thought, hey, everybody wants to hear about this kind of stuff. So let's just take a shot, see if anybody wants to do it. So, Steve, are you out there? Come on, I'd be disappointed if you missed it. But hey, it's a surprise thing, pop up, what they call them, like pop up shows. So we're going to talk about Ben Johnson in just a minute. I want to see who's in the queue first, just out of curiosity. Who's out there? I see you there, but I don't see your name. But thank you for hitting the thumbs up button, if nothing else. I do appreciate that. And if you're watching on replay, because more people really watch on replay than live shows, because right now a lot of you are at work or it's lunchtime out in West Coast. The people are from everywhere. That's why I don't mind doing it in there. All right, look like a slob, don't I? So anyway, Ben Johnson has told the Washington Commanders, you know what, I'm staying in Detroit. And I think that's a great move for him because I didn't think he was quite the right fit for this team. And when I say that, the Washington Commanders have said, we're looking for a real solid leader. And I've been really watching what I thought were the 5 finalists for this job. There may still be another guy out there. You never know. But I didn't see Johnson as to take the room, to take charge, take the room. Now, they did interview 2 people yesterday from Baltimore, and they didn't offer either the job yet, but make nothing of that because they had 3 lined up for today. They had Dan Quinn today, and they were en route to Detroit when they heard the news that Johnson decided no thanks, but they're still going to go talk to Aaron Glenn there. So they're doing their due diligence. The new owner, Josh Harris, is a businessman. He's going to be very methodical. He's going to take these things and do them, and there's nothing wrong with that. You take another day, make sure you got who you got. And I know everybody wanted Ben Johnson. I'm sorry. I just thought that, it wasn't the right fit. And to force it, it reminded me of what Norv Turner was. Okay. Norv comes with 2 Super Bowls on his resume, but he's just not really the leader of men at that time. And Norv took 5 years easy to become a decent head coach. Very different job than being an OC or a DC. And in 5 years, you can't pull this off. You're gone already. So why waste the time on all of this? I think what they're looking for, to be honest, I see the most in Dan Quinn, but I know what you're thinking. That's basically Ron Rivera. And true, Quinn had a 46-44 overall record, lost a Super Bowl in Atlanta. Ta-da! That's Ron's resume too. People want somebody new and fresh on this kind of thing. So while I think Quinn could certainly be in the running, because they're going to sit down after all these and go, what do we like? What do we really like? Harris and Peters are taking a business analytical kind of look at this, but they want to see the leader. They don't care about the X's and O's. All 4 of these guys are good X's and O's guys, or else they wouldn't even be here. You're now looking for the lion in the room, whether he's from Detroit or not. And I think that's why I didn't see Johnson really as it. Now, the guy that I think fits them best at this point maybe is Mike Macdonald out of the Ravens. And what I like about Macdonald is you can see he doesn't say as much. He admits he's a little bit of an introvert. And you say, wow, is that the guy that's going to seize the room? Well, maybe roar it up here on that. But what I love about Macdonald is he's got that 1,000-mile stare at you. And I'm thinking, he's trying to figure out which way to kill me. I mean, that kind of guy is dangerous because he's thinking, how can I get the better of you? There's a lot of stuff going on behind them eyes. And I like a lot of that. So I think Macdonald could be it. Now, I know you're just saying, well, he's a defensive coordinator. So what? Leaders are leaders, whatever they are. You find me a special teams coach that's that, I'll say hire him, on that kind of thing. So, I think Macdonald certainly could be there. Now, let's look at my notes real quick here too. Anthony Weaver with the Ravens also, is, solid. He's a solid guy. He played in the league 7 years. He's been coaching 11 years. Defensive line guy. This team certainly needs to figure that out because this D-line's got to be revamped or else it's just not going to work. on the team overall. And Aaron Glenn, up in Detroit, 15 years as a player, first rounder with the Jets, 7 years as a coach, 2 as a D coordinator, likable guy. I think Aaron Glenn's very much in the chase here for this. If he can have a good, I'd love to be in the room. If I was in the room, I could pick this coach because I know what they want. You're looking for the right guy. And I think Harrison Peters can do this too. So, McDonald, Quinn, Weaver, and Glenn. I would say, well, I don't know. We'll have to see how Glenn's, interview goes. And I've watched a lot of tape on him personally to see what he was like. I think he can do something here. He's definitely the one to kind of watch too. Could they pull out Belichick or somebody at the end? I don't think so because Josh Harris has to sell tickets. Okay, let's be honest about this. They got to sell tickets. They spent $6 billion for this team. And you can't pick somebody that everybody's going to hate as a coach, even though he's one of the greats forever. Not the fit here. It's always about fit. Fit is everything in the NFL. Parlay 316, thank you so much for chipping in. I hadn't even gotten around to begging for money yet, but if you'd like to throw in something, that $ below me on some of your screens at least helps keep me going. I do appreciate that. And Alton's already out there. Alton, I haven't gotten your remarks on the sermon lately. So that's bad boy. Ken McDonald, harness an outspoken guy like Bieniemy. Well, there's an interesting part too. The team has not let go any of the assistant coaches outside of Ron. They kept the staff. Why? Because you never know if the next coach wants somebody. Am I saying Bieniemy would stay? Don't know. Have to ask the next coach what he thinks of Eric. But you keep that option open. And I know all of you are going to go, no. I mean, you guys got to calm down. You really do. I had so many people ask me, hey, what do you think of the they should take this coordinator? Dude, this ain't McDonald's and ordering off a dollar menu. You got to let the coach do that kind of thing. James Beast from Hickory, my family's in Hickory, North Carolina, the Mullen Axis. He wishes Johnson would have worked out. I mean, a lot of people do, but at least he had the forethought to say, I'm not ready for this job. Smart way to go. Somebody said, geez, kind of tick off people in his next round of interviews. Nah, nobody will care about that on everything. Let's see. Almighty Manny says, take McDonald, keep EB. So, sorry, afternoon, got a lot going on here. Live from the command center. My command center, not theirs. So EB could possibly get. He's under contract. He's got another year. You can't make somebody come to work, but you can keep him from working elsewhere. All right, Patrick's come up with the other thing. Bobby Slowick. I don't know, man. I don't see Bobby Slowick as the choice. I don't think he's quite ready either. I know everybody wants the next Sean McVay. Why wouldn't you? But there's not too many Sean McVays. Kevin O'Connell up in the Vikings was a lot like Sean, a little older, but it was a good fit. The NFL likes these new young guys with hair, you bunch of aces. So, it's a possibility, but I don't think so. They have not talked to Vrabel, Mike, but that doesn't mean they won't. I mean, let's say they get done with these interviews and go, anybody, what else is left? And maybe you pull that off. I think you really need a coach in the next few days, but you can't force it. Don't force the square peg in the round hole. So. Well, now I got grandkid duty. And your grandparent, my wife retired the other day. The whole family's going, ooh, can you do? Just because Nana's on retirement doesn't mean we all come work your schedule. But me too. We're all working together. Trying to be good with family too. What is it, 2:30? Wow, that means they're going to bug me soon. Okay, so here's the other thing about fit. And it goes, fit is everything. And fit as a head coach is everything. But it's also goes to the draft and free agency, where every coach makes this fatal mistake. They'll go, ooh, I can make that guy fit here. He needs some work here, but no. That is the mistake that kills coaches' careers when you're extending yourself towards somebody, and it's not the right fit. Ask, let's say Ron. Ron, did Emmanuel Forbes, he was really more of a cover zone guy than a man, but you picked him to be a man guy and his 166 pounds couldn't do it. Oh, you can make him work. Yeah, how'd that go? I bet if he has any success, it'll be that. Tony P, thank you so much. I'll tell her on there. And my wife finished 43 years at the one and only agency she worked at her whole life. Who does that? But she did it, and she did well with it. So I was proud of her. And she gets to goof off some now. Me, I'm still banging rocks. But here we go. So I'm sorry. It's just family. So that's kind of where we stand on everything. Johnson at least had the clarity of mind to not force something that wouldn't have been good. Sort of like Spurrier. Spurrier came here with one agenda, which was, can my offense work in the NFL? I mean, he wanted to make some money too. He did both. He made the money. He didn't make the offense work. And that was a bad fit. And he went back to colleges and did great again. So there's all about trying to understand people. The NFL, I try to explain, it's not just about, X's and O's. It's about people and making 53 people into one. That 5 fingers alone is nothing, but a fist will knock you out. Well, go to 53 people and say that. The good coaches can do that. And a bad one can't. And this team has not had a really good, solid leader of a coach outside of Joe Gibbs since George Allen days. I mean, let's be honest. Marty, to a degree, I think was okay. Shanny could have been, but was so narcissistic, he ruined his own situation. Zorn, Spurrier, please. Zorn, they got stuck in because they didn't know what else to do. At least you have real people looking for the search now. If this was Dan Snider and he got turned down here, good luck with that. Jake, what if Seattle and Washington turned down Ben Johnson and he's covering up by saying it? I don't think so. I don't know, maybe. I didn't want to work there anyway. You can't fire me. I quit. Is it one of those? I don't think so. He seems like a pretty honest guy, which would not let him fit in here well at all with Washington. You need leaders. This team needs a leader, and it's a lot like the politicians on Capitol Hill. You guys keep voting for these crazy people because they're good at talking to you about what you want to hear, and they're good at leading the local thing. Are they idiots? A lot of them are, but they know how to do it. I've met a bunch of them, and you kind of feel like, hey, he's a good guy. I liked him. There's nothing to do. Can he be a good senator? I see this all the time. That's how, you fake it till you make it. There's a lot of people out there that can do that. But in football, you get exposed pretty quick. SB 107's in Towson. Do you think the news affects the timeline for the hire? Absolutely. I think it definitely makes them take a pause to make sure they really know what they want to do, but not by any sizable amount. EB stocks up, says Mike. Can't go down. IRJ, was Ben Johnson kind of fearing to take the job? I think so, because if he would have that kind of confidence, he'd have taken it. Remember Buddy Ryan's press conference in Arizona? He's standing up there and he's yelling at all these guys going, you got a winner in town now, baby. We're going to go win. It didn't quite work out for him there, but Buddy had the confidence for them to hire him. That's a big deal. I've met a lot of people in life, a lot of people in journalism that think they're greatest and they just have the great confidence and versus skill. And I wonder, they get along. They definitely exceed their abilities. We see it in business every day, everywhere. And we're seeing it now right here live. So we had somebody finally had the presence of mind saying, listen, there's jobs I'd turn down because I knew I wouldn't be happy there or it wouldn't be a good fit for me. I had a friend, I was in a smaller papers. He said, I said, I wish I could work at the bigger paper and, make more money. And he just said, listen, you're happy where you are. Stay there. You won't be happy here. It was good advice. I've had it a couple of times in my life. So when I was thinking of jobs, people said, you won't be happy here. And I thought, okay, if I'm not happy there, what's the point? Money comes and goes. Never take a job that you're going to hate or regret because just for the money, unless you're desperate for the money. If you're desperate, well, okay. So that's kind of what Ben Johnson's looking at here. So I think right now, if I had to rank them, I'll go McDonald over Glenn. But I think everything's still in play. And this ownership group and GM, they're doing a good methodical look and then, without the early agenda. And I think it's okay to do it that way. Roger, McDonald or Slowick? McDonald. I don't care. They said they don't care if he's an OC or a DC, okay? Doesn't matter what I think. One of the ways of being a good journalist, it's not what you think. It's what the people that you're writing about think. How do they look at it? That's what my mindset has to be. I just think, unless Bobby Slowick does a hell of a presentation with them, if he could come in and win the room, that's what Sean McVay did. I knew Sean would because I knew Sean was that kind of guy. I knew he'd go in there and he'd leave with that job. And as I've said the other day, Mike Tomlin, he was the last interview, grabbed that Steelers job and has done a great job. He's going to the Hall of Fame, I think. Talk to Belichick, Hickory Hound. I just think the town would be upset. You got to sell tickets in this move too, man. It's not an independent thing where you can pick who you want outside of the public realm. That's not going to work. Dan Snider didn't do it a couple times because he wanted to hire different coaches like Fossil, and he could tell the blowback on it, and he couldn't afford it, so he didn't do it. Fossil really got hosed on that deal. That job was his. Parlett, 3.0, Gibbs 3.0, the reckoning, the rapture. Yeah, we're going to come back here. There'll be nobody in the stands. It'll be the rapture then, huh? I love Joe, but he's 80 years old. Okay, we got to let that one go. But I have great respect for Joe as a person too. Hey, maybe Ryan Kerrigan wants to be the head coach. Hey, look at Antonio Pierce. I thought he did a good job. I would have considered him for this job here. If he wanted it. And that goes to my point about Antonio Pierce on leadership. There's a guy who came in the room didn't have the biggest resume and experience, and he said, we can do this. Let's go kick some butt. And they did. They did pretty well. Coming in as a midseason coach is the hardest thing in the world to do. Teams usually fall apart. He held them together decently. That was a nice job about Pierce. You don't spot that much. So I give people credit for doing it. And then I know Vegas thought about, well, is that what we really want long-term? And they looked around and said, yeah, okay, let's go. Because he could lead. That's what you need. We got plenty of X's and O's guys out there. We got a whole analytics team out there. But I don't like them, but they're there. So a head coach has to be the boss. And not a draconian guy. Not somebody putting cameras in and looking at everybody. He's got to learn how to deal with people. This is the same in your office, wherever you work. Your best bosses know how to tap into who they have. And younger players now, they think they have a right to invest in what goes on. And in my generation, I told you to shut the hell up and keep going. But that's not what this is about now. The younger people, you got to deal with them differently. Can't be an old fossil like me. You're down HR writing, I'm sorry. The new coach has got to be able to deal with those type of players too. Shanahan couldn't deal with that at all. Guys like Hainsworth and RG3 just drove him nuts. That's a shame on there. I got a pretty good crowd here. So hit the thumbs up button for me, guys. Just kind of jumping in and out here for things because I know you want to talk about this. So what the heck? That's what I'm doing anyway, is talking about it. We might as well do it together. On these things. And if you want to hit the $ down the bottom, great. I can always help pay the light bill on everything. Who else is out there on live right now talking to you? Nobody. That's because they got real jobs and they got to do stuff. I'm just sort of here. 70 Chip wants to hire McDonald. There you go. I just think McDonald's the Iceman. I just like a lot of what I've seen there. I could be wrong. That's the thing. Excuse me. You can hire everybody and do all the right things and still lose. So it still comes down to some luck and among other things. So I just finished doing a video to be able to later on all the Super Bowl prop bets. My favorite prop bet will be, will Taylor Swift make it to the game on time? I would say got to be in the seat for that to count. Not coming in the tunnel while they're playing the anthem. Seat for kickoff. I say yes. But you never know. Got to fly all the way from Japan. You don't have much time over there. That's a great prop bet. I wonder if they'll do that. Otherwise it's a coin toss. And Reba singing the national anthem. I love Reba. She's got basically 1:38 on the prop bets to do it. I think she goes a little longer. She'll do that Southern twang and hang it out there. But we just got to get ready for the Super Bowl. I saw Saturday Night Live. Anybody see that last weekend where they opened with a Tony Romo fake who was really good. He had Romo down. And they basically said, this is the last football weekend. And they go, what are you talking about? Super Bowl's next week ago. That's for commercials and dancing and entertainment and people who don't know anything about the game. This championship weekend's real football. And I kind of laughed and said, you're right. You really are right. I'll have all my grandkids around Super Bowl weekend, and they won't know anything about it, but they'll look at all this stuff. And that's how you make fans. And there's nothing wrong with that. The players take it seriously. The rest of us can just party. I still think they should go one more week and make it President's Weekend. Not because I'm so hungover I can't go to work Monday, but some of you, we got to increase beer sales. So we do what we do. All right. So if any of you came in late, which I'm sure most of you did come in late because I just popped up here, Ben Johnson told him, you know what? I'm going to stay in Detroit. I got things to do here. That's nice, dude. I'm glad for Detroit for you, but that's not why you're really not taking this job. You just didn't see the fit work. I think Mike McDonald is a definite contender. I think Aaron Glenn in Detroit would be a definite contender. But these are business people looking at it from a different angle, so you never really know. And Anthony Weaver, Femgu, yeah, I mean, he's in the hunt. Like I said, it's who wins the room. Who can come in there and let them walk out the room and go, damn, that guy was impressive. Not because he knows so much, but because he's going to lead this team. That's what they want. And that's what we can't see because I don't have a camera in the room. If I could sit there through all these interviews, I bet you I'd pick which one they were going to pick. We could all see it. Yeah, we'll see. So that's kind of where we stand on everything. I know some of you want Slowick or Weaver. I don't know. I think you can't hope that a guy is going to be able to fill the role. You have to know the guy is going to fill the role. And they've tried, when you overreach, like a Gruden or even Dorv, like that. I mean, really overreaching with Spurrier or Zorn, that was nuts. But when you overreach like that, it doesn't work. And then, listen, Shanny was a great hire. And who knew he would collapse it upon himself. Big Dog thinks he should have gone Raheem Morris. I wouldn't have objected to that. I wouldn't have objected to Harbaugh because Harbaugh's a leader. Is he, going to drive people crazy? Yeah, but I've seen coaches drive everybody crazy for 30 years and don't win any games. So let's try winning games with a crazy person. He knows how to win. If that's the bottom line. That's what I would have told Jerry Jones. I would have said, you go get Belichick. Well, I want to be – no. I'd say, Jerry, you're 80 years old. You're not looking that good. Do you want to hold another Lombardi trophy before you die? If you really, really, really do, you go get Belichick, and he gives you the best chance for it. And if you don't really care that much and you want to have fun, then go ahead and screw around with McCarthy. But you're not going to win it. But Belichick could win this one for you. That's what you have to look at here. What are you willing to give up, on all this? Control? Yeah. That's why I go Harbaugh. You really want to win this thing. The Chargers desperately need to make an inroad in the LA market versus the Rams. So they took the chance here. Don't blame them. So, all right. It looks like I got to run and keep going. But glad to talk to everybody. Thank you all for coming so much. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out the door. Hopefully. Don't hit the down one. If you want to leave some money behind as a tip, that's great too. I'm not sure how long. We've been on 23 minutes. So it's a quick hit. Maybe I'll be back again. Sean, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. It does help pay the bills, man. I'm an old reporter in a business that's dying. As a newspaper guy, I'm like the stagecoach driver just saw his first car run by him. You realize things are going to change. And we've seen that with SI and LA Times and all that this week. That's why I do this. I actually do better on this than working for other people. Although I still am 106.7 The Fan. You can read my column at Odyssey.com about the coaching search. It went up yesterday and how I see it all go. So we always appreciate you doing that. And I appreciate everybody coming. Videos will be up again a little later, whatever. The smoke clears again. We'll see what it is. There's a lot of smoke and broken mirrors kind of stuff. We'll see what's up there on it. Who do I think Freeman wants to know? Who would Mike McDonald take as D coordinator? I have no idea. I don't pay attention to that. It's too much. It's too much fantasy football for me. I got to keep my eyes on the main prize. The rest of it, we'll let other people worry about. So, okay, that's it. I'm Rick Snider for Rick Snider's Washington. Thank you all for coming so much. I'll see you a little later, and maybe I'll pop up if there's some breaking news on that too. And otherwise, keep watching videos, and I appreciate you coming.